Hi everyone, hope you are well. I hope you can see me, hear me. If you can, just a very quick yes, no, right? So I will just quickly then introduce the agenda and we'll chat for 10-15 minutes and then I will take some questions. Okay, cool, awesome. So you can, awesome. All right, so everything seems to be cool. I am a minute late. I was just trying to figure out how to go on live. So, okay. All right, so 6 points that I'm going to speak about. One, I'm going to speak about the stock market fall, which has recently happened. So market corrected by roughly 2% today. So people are panicking. So should you panic? Should you not panic? So that's one piece of conversation I will have with all of you. And second is, of course, the discussion around HDFC Bank, ki bhai, why the fall has been there. Is something wrong with the stock? न्यूज वाले तो बोल रहे हैं कि तबाह हो जाएगा स्टॉक एंड पता नहीं मर्जर हो गया है सो सब बर्बाद है अब फ्रॉम दिस पॉइंट so should I buy it, should I not buy it, right? So I will just help you understand what is actually going, fundamentally speaking. Okay, so this is not a recommendation that you buy, you should not buy. Aap apna, you know, whatever data needs to be presented, I will present. I'll explain everything in very simple, easy to understand language. Please watch it very very carefully. Extremely important video, therefore I came on live. I hardly do any lives, right? So us aspects I am just speaking about. So 6-7 points I will speak about. Okay, so the first key point is, and this is a broad market point, that when the market falls, it's actually a good thing for investors. Okay, now बोलोगे यार ये तो अजीब बात कर दी, right? कि when the market falls, it's a good thing for the investors. How is it? See guys, I mean basically it depends on a few things, right? There is a caveat to this. The caveat means कि अच्छा, there is an addendum to this. It's good for an investor if you have a strategy in place. Okay, जब market ऊपर भाग रहा होता है, when everything is at an all time high and you are buying like crazy, and then the correction comes and your entire money is invested in the stock market, of course you will panic. Okay, but smart investors, and this is something that you will learn with experience, that if you buy on margin of safety का simple मतलब ये निकल के आता है that for example the market is at 22,000, it has made its peak, and you are not investing much, you are just keeping it light, you are saving your money on the sidelines. That is what I've been saying for almost 2 months now, कि at least keep some money on the sidelines. And then if the market falls, let's say अभी तो 2% की fall आई है, who knows, 10% 15% fall aa jaye, right? Then what is your strategy then, right? So that is called as margin of safety, and having money to invest during your margin of safety. So for such investors, when the market fall, it's not a bad news. But if you are an investor who has gone crazy कि वैसे जब peak बन गया market की, then only I will invest, of course you are going to panic. It's really bad. Mathematically अगर मैं आपको बताऊं from a maths point of view, it's very simple कि see, when the market falls from 100 rupees to 80 rupees, there is a 20% correction. Okay, but if you buy at 80 rupees and then the market again goes to 100 rupees, how much percentage gains you are making? So you are making 20 divided by 80, because वो आपकी baseline बन जाती है. So that's a 25% market rise. Okay, जब 100 से 100 से it went to 80, it was a 20% fall. But when it went from 80 to 100, it was a 25% rise. This math will only make sense when you're actually investing money when the market falls at 80. Oh, sorry, when market falls at 80 and you invest at 80. Okay, so I hope that this first critical point is clear to everyone. It's very basic, बहुत sensible way में मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. I make these type of sensible commentary on my YouTube member community also, in case you guys are interested, क्योंकि मैं बहुत ज़्यादा videos अब बनाता नहीं हूँ, right? I make it very seldomly only. So for any quick updates, I throughout the day today also I kept on giving a lot of updates. So in case you are a serious investor, definitely consider joining it. Okay, so that's the point, and I'm genuinely asking all of you. बहुत ही कम हम लोगों ने फीस भी रखी हुई है, ऐसे कुछ उसमें वो नहीं करते. It's just simply to create a barrier between serious and non-serious investors. So you will learn in a structured manner. Okay, so that's point one. एंड एक नेचुरल क्वेश्चन यहाँ पे आपका आएगा कि यार मार्केट फेल बाय 2%, नाउ शुड आई इन्वेस्ट हेविली, और HDFC फेल बाय 8%, शुड आई इन्वेस्ट हेविली? सो उसके बारे में बात करते हैं. सी, योर बाइंग और सेलिंग डिसीजंस कम एट 5% फॉल, 5% राइज. ओके, 2% से कुछ नहीं होता. 2% is not even a fall. Okay, the market can any day correct by 10%. That's a very simple logical thing without even any reason. Also reason तो जबरदस्ती निकाल लिए जाते हैं मार्केट में कि अच्छा ये हो गया, ADR गिर गया उसका, ये फलाना ढिमका चीज हो गई, राइट, एंड ऑल दैट स्टफ. ऐसा कोई पैनिक वाला रीजन नहीं है. यस, अगर कुछ ऐसी मेजर सी चीज हो जाए which is unexpected, then it's a different thing. Okay, so I hope that this first point is clear. सेकंड की पॉइंट, जो आपको बताएंगे नहीं, कोई भी ये चीज आपको नहीं बताएगा, आप जाके न्यूज सुन लो, अभी 5 घंटे न्यूज सुन लेना, इसको देखने के बाद सारे न्यूज चैनल आप देख लेना, कोई फंडामेंटल बात नहीं होती, सब बेकार की बातें होती हैं, राइट? सो आई एम जस्ट गोइंग टू एक्सप्लेन really useful content in the next 10 minutes. Okay. Number 2 point, that big players move the market and they always buy at a discount. ये मैं आपको बिल्डर के एग्जांपल से समझाता हूँ, that for example you might have a builder in your city and आपने कभी भी some builders go bankrupt. Why do they go bankrupt? Because वो डेट में चले जाते हैं, बहुत सारा डेट ले लेते हैं, बहुत बड़ा गेम खेल देते हैं, राइट? बट you will rarely ever meet a builder who will buy a land at very expensive prices. Okay, so the raw material that the builder is buying, he or she will always procure it at very cheap prices or inexpensive prices. Now something similar happens in the stock market also, that the big players, they will always take good positions in a stock when that stock is cheap. Okay, otherwise they will not buy it. सो इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट आप खुद थोड़ा सा दिमाग लगा के देखो कि यार व्हाट इज रॉन्ग एग्जैक्टली विद HDFC बैंक. ऐसा हो गया है कि बिजनेस खत्म हो जाएगा, बैंक बिजनेस इज गोइंग टू गो अंडर, लोन्स के स्कैम्स निकल रहे हैं HDFC बैंक, दे आर अनेबल टू ऐड ब्रांचेस, they are unable to grow their business, they have undertaken massive crazy lending जिसको वापस they cannot get it back. What is the exact issue? आपने इतनी न्यूज़ सुनी होगी, आपको इशू पता चला कि क्या है? अभी I'll speak about it in slightly more detail also. कुछ नहीं, right? So there is no major issue to be honest, right? But हो क्या रहा है कि the stock has not been giving a run up for the last 2.5, 3 years now. The stock is available at its lowest ever PE or almost lowest ever PE. अगर आप चेक करोगे PE ratio of HDFC Bank, you will see it is somewhere around like 17-18 PE. This was back in 2009. This was back in 2020 crash, right? Absolute bottom pay. Okay, and that is the same PE the stock is available right now. It has been discounted, and अब आप न्यूज़ चैनल जाके सुनोगे इतनी नेगेटिव सेंटिमेंट्स हैव बीन बिल्ट, तो आपको लगेगा सबसे दुनिया का खराब स्टॉक है HDFC बैंक. ओके, सो इन दैट कॉन्टेक्स्ट लेट मी डिस्कस पॉइंट नंबर 3 which is around HDFC बैंक. There are 4 or 5 issues that have come up, so I will speak about them in a very quick manner so that you get an idea. Okay, point 1 is the merger issue. Now merger issue is not something that is new. Merger has happened months back, okay, or almost like a year back, and कोई नई चीज तो है नहीं कि भाई टुडे HDFC बैंक विल फॉल बाय लाइक 8% बिकॉज आज से 1 साल पहले मर्जर हुआ था. व्हाट सेंस डज इट मेक? ओके, सो दिस इज वन. ओके, बट यस, रिलेटेड पॉइंट हियर इज दैट मेनी पीपल आर सेइंग दैट सी, यू नो व्हाट, someone is asking me a question that insights on REC Akshat. I bought it now and very good. So you have made a profit. I would definitely recommend some profit booking. Anyways, coming back, that see, some people are saying that, you know what, because of this merger, HDFC Bank will become, or HDFC will become very big. Okay, because housing finance जो उनका group था, that has been merged into the bank, right? And as a result, it has become a very big elephant, and it will, because it's a big elephant, it will take time to move and it will move very slowly, what not. Okay, भाई ये चीजें तब आती हैं when the company is not able to make more revenues or grow its revenues at a faster rate or grow its profits at a fast rate. Now go and check that what has been the growth rate of profits and growth rate, I'm saying not growth rate of revenues and growth rate of profits on HDFC Bank. You will find that it is much in excess of 15%. So there is no reason why the stock on a CAGR basis should not grow at more than 15%. This is a fundamental point which every fundamental investor who is looking at data knows. Again, relating it to the previous point that I had spoken, कि भाई जब big players want to buy a good stock, they will of course make it discounted. जब तक आपका भरोसा नहीं उठ जाता a normal person का, and they do not sell their stock, the stock will not move. Okay, if everyone is expecting HDFC Bank to move, the stock will not move. Today is one of the days when 30-40% of investors, or at least I don't have the data, but 20-30% of the investors maybe hypothetically would have lost faith on something like HDFC Bank. यार कुछ होता तो है नहीं, साल भर से लेके बैठे हुए हैं, कुछ हो नहीं रहा है, बाद में हम तो, you know, we'll just sell it and move on. Okay, so that is what people will be saying. So first was the merger issue. This is not a new issue. Second is NIM issue. So this is something that you would have been hearing कि NIM हो गया, NIM इसका कम हो गया. NIM simply means net interest margins. Okay, in very simple language, if I have to explain you what NIM means, it means the following, that NIM means the following, that that if let's say you know, the bank, so how does a bank work, right? Bank will take money from us, right? And then they will loan it out further in the form of home loans or other types of loans. Okay. And there is an interest differential between the two. I'm not giving you the exact correct definition just to keep the explanation simple, because I don't even have a pen through which I can teach. So the difference would be like the net interest between these two aspects. Okay. So it's basically the difference between cost of capital and cost of lending in a way, right? Or the interest difference between the two. That is what it would be. So अब हुआ क्या है कि the procurement cost of capital that the bank is getting, that has become expensive. Okay. Now, is this like a HDFC bank specific issue? कि भाई सिर्फ HDFC बैंक को बहुत महंगे लोन्स मिल रहे हैं, right? Wherever they are procuring their money from, और किसी को नहीं मिल रहे? No, nothing like this. Almost this is a bank wide problem, right? ऐसा तो कुछ HDFC बैंक ने पाप नहीं कर रखे कि उनको ज़्यादा expensive वो मिलेगा, right? More importantly, what the market is not telling you is the fact that, see, HDFC Bank is conservative bank, right? Conservative in the sense that they are not like Punjab National Bank and bunch of PSUs कि बहुत खराब से loans दे देते हैं. Now, recently you would have read that RBI has warned against unsecured credit. Okay, unsecured credit मतलब जैसे credit card पे बहुत ज़्यादा debt हो गई and all that stuff. So those are unsecured loans. Now, in that respect, because HDFC is a conservative bank, right? Their point of view is कि यार देखो हम whatever money we are loaning out, we want most of that money to come back to us. थोड़ी सी slow down हो जाए, no problem, right? All that stuff is there. So from that perspective, it is extremely important for you to understand that this conservatism plays into NIM. That's A. Second is that due to merger of HDFC and HDFC Bank, HDFC is a housing loan company. It is a low NIM business to start with. Okay, so that also needs to be added and taken consideration of. So this is not a fundamental problem the way it is being made out to be. Okay, so this is the second issue. Third, some of my students asked me from community that, can you also explain about promoter holding that it went to zero? See guys, basically it's not an issue of promoter holding going to zero. It's a combination of FII, DII and promoter, right? All three are considered in aggregation to be strong holders, right? There are many companies, for example, Hindustan Unilever or ITC. These are all professionally managed companies. Isme how much is the promoter holding? Zero. Okay. Same is happening with HDFC Bank. So it's not a sign of concern. For example, FII, if I remember correctly, in 2021, the FII holding was roughly 40%. And now it is 55-56%, right? So it's a question of the aggregated holding of FII, DII plus promoter holding. So that hasn't changed, right? Much from the last 3-4 years. Okay. Next point was regarding growth, that where will growth come from? Because one of the news items that we were reading was that HDFC had planned to start 1,500 branches this year or last year. And they were only able to start roughly 900 branches. भाई 900 नई ब्रांचेस ही तो ऐड हुई हैं. इट्स नॉट एज इफ दैट दे आर ऑन अ डी ग्रोथ पार्ट कि उन्होंने जो एग्जिस्टिंग ब्रांचेस थे वो बंद कर दी थी. ओके, सो दैट इज नॉट देयर. बैंक इज स्टिल ग्रोइंग वेरी फास्ट, नॉट एन इशू एट ऑल. जस्ट फॉर कॉन्टेक्स्ट, रीजनल बैंक्स जो होते हैं उनकी टोटल नंबर ऑफ ब्रांचेस 800-900 होती हैं, 1000 होती हैं, राइट? 1000. And there is HDFC Bank which is adding 900-1000 branches a year, right? And people are saying that it is a bad stock. Okay, so this is one. Now comes the fourth point, right, which is around fundamentals, that I will just quickly take you through fundamentals of the stocks. See, revenues, profits are all-time high, right? Asset quality is great, which has been, which can be ascertained in terms of corporate governance, in terms of how much default is happening. So all the default rate vagara has come down. Okay, no problem there. Is its loan book growing? Yes. Is its cost of financing high? It is high. Why? Because interest rates right now are high in the economy, and interest rates are going to get cut over the next 6 months, most likely. So do you think that their NIM will improve? Most likely, yes. Okay. All this needs to be seen. Whatever conversation I've had so far, all this needs to be seen in context of the price of a stock. Okay. This is a point that no one, literally no one, I heard like no one speak about this. Ki bhai, the price of the stock in P ratio terms is available almost at its all-time low, right? Or at least in the last 15 odd years. P ratio has been one of the lowest. For the entire private sector banks, be it Kotak Bank, be it ICICI, Axis, sabhi ka industry P has, been low. Okay, so there is no issue per se from that perspective. P rating हो जाएगी, right? I mean, it has been negatively rated for the next 2 years. Cycle आएगी, P re-rating will happen in that. So yeah, so that's the simple point that I would like to make, that you have to see the fall in price the fall in the stock price as of today in context of the overall price. Okay, so this is a very important point. Okay, now comes the fifth point: what strategy am I using on HDFC Bank? What is it that I'm doing? Am I buying, not buying? I had already built a big portfolio. Believe it or not, I was already sitting on roughly 14-15% gain on HDFC Bank. Okay, today unfortunately it went down by 8%, so by 7% रह गया, right, gain. So I purchased a bit more. If it falls more by another 5%, I will buy more, not a problem. So I will downward average it. I see no problem, only up to an extent of my overall portfolio. Okay, I see zero problems from that perspective. The expectation that I have from buying HDFC Bank is very simple: that I feel that the stock will grow at 15 to 20% CAGR. Now that entire gain can come in the next 3 months, 4 months, I don't know, or it can keep on coming for the next maybe this year it will not show any gain, but next year it might show 30% gain, or maybe 2 years it will not show any gain, then it will suddenly show 50-60% gain. So that is something that I'm looking at, right? So that's my viewpoint on HDFC Bank. I hope it gave you clarity, right? Overall market situation is that the market is still very high. Everything is high, right? I mean, except for maybe large caps, one could argue. Small cap, mid caps, I already booked a lot of profits, and as I keep sharing on my member community also. So that is something that I've already done. Having a very clear answer that if the market falls by 20%, what is it that I'm going to do? If you do not have clarity on that, you'll keep on panicking, you will keep on absorbing nonsense news, you will keep on fretting the entire day. दिमाग खराब होता रहेगा, आपको कुछ से निकलेगा नहीं, right? So it's very important to understand all these basic points. Okay, ADR is down again 7%. No one cares. Okay, so that's a simple point, right? आपने से पहले ADR सुना तो 3-4 दिन पहले, right? So कुछ नहीं होता यार. I mean, if you go and do PhD on every stock, nothing good is going to come out of it, right? So just leave it. There is no point in terms of thinking it. Finally, I will leave you with a very important saying in the stock market, that the fundamentals of the stock catches up to the stock price, right? What it simple terms means, that if a business is making improved revenues, improved profits, it will reflect in the stock price. Something similar, just go back like 6 months back and IT ko leke, right? Regarding IT index, I am just a pure index buyer in IT, and I'm sitting on 27-28% gain as of today. People were crying, news people were crying कि भाई IT डूब गया, खत्म हो गया, बर्बाद हो गया, कुछ नहीं होगा. Look at for like 2 years, it is completely like rotten, this, that. You buy it when sentiments are extremely negative. For example, right now sentiments are extremely negative for HDFC Bank. 2-3 दिन 4 दिन और रहेंगे मेरे ख्याल से, right? From that perspective, then it will bounce back, right? Not exactly in 4-5 days, but whenever it bounces back. Something similar had happened on IT stocks, it has bounced back. Something similar had happened on HDFC AMC. Look at the stock performance now. Something similar had happened on Meta stock. Look at the stock performance now. Bottom line is that if you buy good solid stocks, they will give good run-ups eventually. And it's very simple mind. We are investors, we are not traders कि भाई लगे पड़े हैं ना ट्रेडिंग करने में, रोज की वो मारामारी कर रहे हैं. All that is just besides the point. Okay, done. So that's it, right? So that's all I wanted to cover, and I will take maybe some questions and we will move on. Okay, so I'll take questions for 10 minutes. Why do NBFCs have low NIM compared to banks, even though they don't give out interests on deposit? Good questions, but it will be hard for me to explain this point to you without showing you or sharing my screen, and I don't know how to do it on live stream. Okay, so maybe I'll make a video. Okay. This I've answered. Kotak is also excellent buy at these levels. Yes, I feel so. It's an entire industry problem that is being crept up. The entire P of the industry has been brought down. There is nothing wrong with it. Okay. I think all the private banks are going to do well, especially Kotak and HDFC from this point, right? HDFC Group, HDFC Life is good, I feel, right? I think HDFC AMC is somewhat peaking, right? So I would not put any more money on it as of now. Okay. How much percentage of HDFC is in our portfolio? Right now must be 5%, right? So I do not invest more than 5-7% in my overall portfolio, any stock. Okay. Tata Power, I don't know. I don't invest in power companies much. I do swings, right? So if there is a very clear technical pattern forming, then I'll do it. Okay. IDFC is a very good stock. I'm holding it. I continue to hold it. I'm sitting on more than 100% profit on it. Okay. Indigo Bank, I don't know, right? Bank of Baroda is See, the problem with public sector banks is that some of the public sector banks, for example, Punjab National Bank, for example, has given massive run up already. Some other public sector banks are not available. Sorry. For example, if you consider Punjab National Bank, it is available at an 18 P, if I'm not mistaken. Please double check it. Something like SBI is available at 9 or 10 P. Okay, so one could argue that PNB is expensive uh, and SBI is not. So, so you have to go be very, very specific about Bank of Baroda. Don't over leverage, right? From that angle, I'll have to double check it. Okay, SBI cards is a good stock. It has not moved as of now, but again, go back, check. It's very simple, right? I mean, it's available almost at the same price at which it IPO'd. Revenues, profits have doubled from the point it has IPO'd. So why is it a bad stock, right? So hardly, if you have been holding it, आपका 5-7%, 5-7-8% loss चल रहा होगा, and I don't, इतना तो आपको loss bear करना पड़ता है, notional loss in the stock market if you want to make money in the long term. Okay. या रेड सी क्राइसिस का कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं हो रहा, प्लीज डू नॉट स्ट्रेस अबाउट इट, इट्स फाइन. द अमेरिकन मार्केट माइट मूव अ लिटिल बिट हियर एंड देयर, कुछ नहीं ऐसा फर्क पड़ा रहा है रेड सी का, आप लोग ज़्यादा पीएचडी कर लेते हो. Okay, Bandhan Bank is fine. I don't see any major problem. The only issue is that interest rate stress can come on MFIs, but overall the bank's performance has been fine. Okay, okay. As HDFC is an undervalued large cap, has significant weightage in Nifty 50, so it's likely they will fall more. The Nifty falls by 20%. Maybe, right? But see, guys, I mean, another important area to consider is that Nifty was at an all-time high. Okay. Now, if Nifty has to be brought down for big investors to give an entry, something like HDFC Bank will be targeted. Okay. So, yeah. Trent is very expensive according to me right now. I'm not buying it. And honestly, I'm not buying any consumer stock. Like I'm not buying these type of companies anymore. I feel that the consumer demand is weak if you consider like a 3-4 year perspective. I'll make I've already made a specific video. It was supposed to go out today, but there was HDFC issue, so I did a live on this. But I feel the consumer demand is really weak, right? It is, the stress signs are very clear. Economy is not in a great shape, to be honest. Once the elections are over, that's when the real fun in stock investing will begin, because then we'll not know how to mitigate our risks. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Hi, TDC, Emico, Helcon, holding from lower levels. Okay, I will have to study these stocks. I'm not sure. Max is very good. Fortis is also good. I think healthcare segment is very good, and within that, even the hospitals and insurance would be my top picks. If you are considering like a 3, 4, 5 year perspective, these are critical services, and when people have less real discretionary income, this is an area they will still need to consume, right? So therefore, Max and Fortis, Max is in my portfolio. I'm already like 25-30% up on it, right? So it's a very good stock in my opinion. And banks of ho ye raha hai ki doctors have learned how to streamline their management, right? So a lot of they have become much smarter in terms of running businesses. So from that angle, the business is doing well, right? And guys, please like the live stream, so that what ends up happening is, so what will end up happening is that it will reach out to more people, and more people will get to see this. Okay, good picks, undervalued opportunities, and S&P 500. See, guys, I mean, honestly, like, this is not a buyer's market or heavy buyer's market as of now. If you're doing your SIPs, slow down a little bit, right? That's what I would say. That instead of investing 100 rupees in SIP, which you typically used to, invest like maybe 80, right? Keep 20 rupees on the sidelines, right? So that will be important. There are times to buy. For example, I have been one of the most bullish people on the stock market in the last 2.5-3 years, when the entire market was sideways, going down. But that was a time to build heavy portfolio. Now is not the time to build heavy portfolio. Now is the time to do sensible profit booking, right? And not get into a position ki yaar, up an all-time high pay, I'm making like my highest ever portfolio types, right? So, or investing my most money at all-time high, it is going to fall, right? I mean, expect 20% correction. It might happen now only, or it might take like another 2-3 years to happen, but it will happen, right? So you have to prepare for that. Okay, Indigo Paints is a good company. I don't see anything off. It's a needed product, right? And it will be used by the top 1% consumers. So it's a good company in my opinion. Okay. Correct time to buy, or shall I wait for something? I don't know, guys. I mean, when IT index was low, see, there are times when I can clearly say that IT index is low, or XYZ company is low or high, right? Or towards low or high. I cannot give you a point, right? I mean, there is a range, right? So 6 months ago, IT index was undervalued, right? Right now, HDFC Bank is undervalued. 6 months from now, I don't know what is going to happen. Sometimes it's fairly valued, sometimes it's not. If HDFC, why is it their loan to deposit ratio? No, so that's not the point, right? Conservative means that the way they give out loans, they do it with the understanding that they will be able to collect most of it, right? For example, why do they have the most white collar employees, right? Just doctors jo hote hain, they, if you go and do a study, you will quickly realize that HDFC Bank has a very big customer base when it comes to white collar workers, right? So why? Because they do not default, or they default very less compared to corporate loan defaulters and all that, right? So that is the meaning of conservatism I wanted to highlight. यार एडीआर से कुछ नहीं फर्क पड़ता. इससे पहले आपने किस स्टॉक के बारे में एडीआर सुना था, राइट? Geo Financial I already have in my portfolio. It's a good stock in my opinion. It's a little bit risky because the business is not clear, but if you're taking a long-term bet sensibly, it will do well. Yes Bank, I don't buy these type of banks. HUL supply is very good, right? HUL is a stock that you buy on 200-day moving average. Supply is very good, right? And pharma sector is bouncing back. इतना ही बोल सकता हूँ मैं, right? Okay, so, okay, all right. I'm still down on SBI for almost. See, guys, I mean, honestly, 10% loss on a stock is not a loss. Okay, so because in a day, stocks move by 10-12%. So you have to have a strategy where anything that you're buying can go down by 20%, and you should be okay with it, right? So that is the volatility is the price that you pay in the stock market, right? So that's an important point that you should remember. Zomato is very good, guys. I mean, honestly, from the day that or when I started buying Zomato, now it has gone up by almost 70%, I would say, right? Members will vouch for it, right? Geo Finance is something that I have, right? Reliance I'm not buying, right? I feel that Geo Finance में growth होनी चाहिए, right? And it is a stock that could, if things go well for it, it's a 4x, 5x stock in the next few years, right? So, upward average HDFC, yes, you can, right? I mean, it's a good stock, guys. I mean, these are not like highly leveraged businesses, right? It's not as if इनका loan चढ़ा हुआ है, इनका infrastructure बिक जाएगा, growth नहीं हो रही है, people are not buying these products, people are buying these products, these companies are expanding, industry is growth industry. It is just that you have to disassociate the price of the stock for the time being and just wait for a momentum to come on this. That's it. Okay, and we cannot say when momentum will come. Okay. Airtel I will not buy. It's pointless to buy these type of stocks. It's not time to do lump sum, according to me. Baki aapki marzi hai, right? So yeah, that's what I would say. Railway stocks I will not buy, right? Again, this is not the time to buy railway stocks and all that, because see, guys, I mean, see, many of you might be a little bit worried that HDFC Bank fell by 8%, but majority of you, I mean, who have been listening to me and who believe in the narratives, right? Then they would be of the opinion कि यार चलो ठीक है गिर गया. It hurts my heart a little bit कि HDFC Bank in a day it fell by like 8%. Is that ठीक है, बुरा लगा. But it's not as if that most of you would be panicking, right? But imagine a scenario that you buy something like IRCTC and it falls by 10-15% in a day. Will you have the confidence to hold it? If the answer is yes, then go and buy railway stocks. Okay. So, I'm sitting about 30% profits on 4 small cap mutual funds. Should I redeem some profits? I would say yes. A little bit of profit booking makes sense on mutual funds, small cap mutual funds. Manyavar is a good company. If you're taking a 4-5 year bet on it, it's very good, right? It's one of the very few brands that has been able to build a very solid brand, right? In a very niche space. Okay. Tata Consumer, you should, hard for me to say like how much of it is in your portfolio and all that. So tough for me to say. What price you had more Angel One? Is this a multi-bagger? I in fact sold a little bit of Angel One 6-7 days back, right? It's a good stock. I don't see anything off. Brokerage business will grow in India. So nothing off with Angel One from that perspective. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I would say. Okay, thank you. Your views on Aavas Finance, very good stock. There is nothing wrong with Aavas Financiers. These type of companies will do well when the interest rates are cut, because that is when people will start constructing more homes, more real estate activity will pick up. It is already picked up in the premium segment. When it picks up in the middle and lower income segments, that is when Aavas Financiers comes into play. Okay. Always thought that cost of fund will fall for HDFC Bank after merger. No, because cost of fund depends on a lot of things, but primarily it would depend on the existing interest rate in the economy. If the interest rate in the economy is high, which is the case right now, then the cost of funding for everyone will be high, right? Not just HDFC Bank. And that is the case, right? I mean, you can go and check what is the NIM ratio of other banks also. That is also high, right? It's not as if it's a HDFC Bank is high, right? So that's the point. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Oracle Financials. I'll have to check. Not sure. I haven't studied it. Okay. Asian Paints is good. City Union Banks is good. No problem, guys. I mean, with that, see, I mean, think about it this way, right? I mean, just go like 2-3 months back. What is the narrative that was being built, right? Ki small cap, mid cap, overvalued ho gaya. Value is there in large cap. Okay. Value is there in large cap. Which are top large cap stocks? Bajaj Finance, HDFC Bank, Asian Paints, these type of companies, right? अब इन पे कुछ ना कुछ न्यूज बना के इनको गिराते जाएंगे, right? At least for the next 2-3 months, Nifty will be brought down, maybe wherever it finds support. Maybe it will be at 20,500. Who knows? And then suddenly these stocks will start moving up. That is what I feel, right? I do not see a sustained correction in the market for a very long time. When I say correction, more than 20% is what is meant by like a start of a bear run. So that is unlikely to happen before, like any time before elections are over and all, right? So, okay, Divi's Lab, Dr. Lal Path Lab. Yeah, I would say that Dr. Reddy's is better, right? Out of this as of now. Okay. City Union Bank is good. Equitas has given a lot of run up. Small finance bank narrative is over as per I see. If you have made a lot of profits, then book some. That's what I would say, right? Yeah, so that's what I would say. Okay. Don't buy it because you know what? Don't buy at least in bulk, because then if you buy it very high, these stocks, for example, Equitas has given like 250% run up, right? G1 has given 150% run up. PNB has given 120% run up. So all this, if you buy now, there is 30% correction, then you're stuck for a very long period of time. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Shashank. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay. Yes. So appreciate it, man. So that's the entire goal of building the community, that you don't feel bothered by these things, because unless you are a fundamental investor, you are able to go through the hard times in a way, right? You will not enjoy the gains. Stock investing is not, you know, it's guaranteed return. It's only guaranteed if you're able to hedge and manage your risk, right? And managing risks means ki bhai stock gira, then this is how I'm going to handle the situation, right? So that only comes with confidence. That only comes with fundamental learning. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. So I think 33 minutes we have been speaking. So I'll end the chat here, right? And SBI cards is good. IDFC First Bank is good. Nothing off. IDFC First Bank is a 2x, 3x type of bank. It also means that you will have to take 5-10 years view on this, right? 5 years at least on IDFC First Bank. The idea is that it will at least become like 3x. It will at least be able to become like grow by 3x from where it is, right? So for that, time is required. From a fundamental point of view, it has been able to grow its business. So nothing off there. Okay. So thank you so much for coming in, right? I hope that this quick discussion was useful. Let me know if you would want me to make more or come on live and discuss these type of things more. So I will do that right from time to time, and keep watching the videos, keep learning things fundamentally. I'm also studying quite a lot new things these days. I'm learning more about AI. I'm traveling quite a lot. So I'll also keep you posted, whatever new stuff that I learn. It's always fun to learn, right? So do it from that perspective. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in, and I will see you on the next live. Okay.